For context, I've been married to her dad for 4 years. He has majority custody. Her mom gets alternating weekends when she shows up. I do the school pickups, dentist appointments, science projects, all of it. I'm the one who knows which sneakers are for gym days and which teacher hates late assignments. I'm not trying to replace anyone. I just live here and take care of what needs taking care of. Yesterday, she was supposed to finish a maths packet. She was on her phone instead. I told her to put it away until the work was done. She sighed like I'd ruined her life. I took the phone. She said I can't just grab her stuff. I said I absolutely can if she's not doing what she's supposed to. That's when she said it. You're not my real mum. You don't get to boss me around. It wasn't the first time she said something like that, but it hit different yesterday. Maybe because her mum missed the last 2 scheduled visits and didn't call. Maybe because I'm the one who had to explain why she didn't show up to the school play. I'm tired of smoothing that over. I said, your real mum hasn't shown up in weeks because she's using again. She froze, but I kept going. She keeps choosing drugs. I'm the one here every day. She said that wasn't true. I said it is. I said if her mum wanted to be here, she would be. I said I'm the one packing lunches and signing permission slips while her mum disappears. And then I crossed a line. I said, she picked drugs over you. It was quiet after that. She looked at me like she wanted to burn me alive, then went to her room and shut the door. She texted her dad. He came home early from work. I could tell by his face she told him everything. He asked me what I said. I told him exactly what I said. I didn't lie about it. I said she pushed me and I responded with the truth. He said, you don't get to decide when she hears that. I said she's 12 and can handle truth. He said that's not the point. He kept repeating that it wasn't my call. I said I'm the one dealing with the fallout every time her mum flakes. I'm the one she takes it out on. I said I'm tired of pretending everything's fine. He told me I didn't just tell the truth. I weaponized it. I don't think I did. I didn't make anything up. Her mum has relapsed before. There have been rehab stays, missed birthdays, promises that fall apart. I didn't invent that. I just said it out loud. But he said she didn't need it thrown at her in an argument about homework. He said I made it about winning. Maybe I did. I was angry. I wanted her to understand that I'm not some random adult in her house. I'm more of a mother in her life than her bio mother ever was. Last night he slept on the couch. He said he needed space. This morning he took her to school without asking if I wanted to come. Usually we all leave together. She wouldn't look at me. When I said goodbye, she didn't answer. He told me this morning that from now on, anything about her mum comes from him, not me. He said I overstepped in a way that can't be undone. I said I didn't lie. He said that doesn't matter. I don't know what I was supposed to say in that moment when she told me I'm not her real mum. Am I just supposed to accept that and keep making dinner like it doesn't land? I'm the one who rearranges my schedule for her appointments. I'm the one who stays up when she has a fever. But when it's convenient, I'm nobody. I know she's a kid. I know this is complicated for her. I'm not blind to that. But I also don't think it's fair that I absorb all the anger while her mum stays this protected idea. Her dad says she's been crying in her room. He says she asked if her mum doesn't love her. I didn't say that. I never said she doesn't love her. I said she keeps choosing drugs. That's not the same thing. He told me she doesn't want me at her school band concert. She wants just him. That hurt more than I expected. I'm not trying to erase her mum. I'm not trying to be cruel. I just snapped. I said what everyone is thinking and no one says. Now the house feels split. He's quieter with me. She's avoiding me. And I'm sitting here wondering if telling the truth in the wrong moment makes me the villain in this. Reactions. Your stepdaughter didn't ask for information about her mum's relapse. She didn't sit down and say she was ready to process addiction. She rolled her eyes about maths homework and said something hurtful. You escalated it to nuclear. You're not my real mum is a predictable line from a 12-year-old in a blended family. It's immature. It's reactive. It's developmentally normal. You responded with adult ammunition. You keep repeating that you didn't lie. That's not the standard here. Nobody accused you of inventing the relapse. The issue is timing and motive. You wanted to win. You even admitted it indirectly. You said you wanted her to understand you're the one who shows up. You positioned yourself as the better parent in the middle of a discipline argument, and when your husband said you weaponized it, he was right. You attached a child's biggest insecurity to a moment about homework. You linked to your math to your mother chose drugs over you. You also stripped her father of his role in deciding how and when that information gets delivered. He wasn't defending his ex. He was defending his daughter's emotional pacing. You talk a lot about what you do for her. Lunches, appointments. Few nights, that's parenting. It doesn't earn you the right to unload adult truths in anger. It's understandable that you're tired. It's understandable that being told you're not her real mum hurts, but she's 12. Her identity is still forming. Her loyalty conflicts are real. She's allowed to feel protective of her mother even if her mother keeps failing her. You're the adult in this triangle. You say she shouldn't keep her mum as a protected idea. That's not your call. Children do that because they need to. It's not about fairness to you. The quiet aftermath says everything. She didn't scream, she didn't argue, she shut down. That's not drama, that's injury. And now your husband doesn't trust you with disclosures about her mum. You didn't just tell her something painful. You told it at a moment designed to hurt back. Intent matters. Right now you're still defending the content instead of the delivery. Until that shifts, this house is going to stay divided. Take 2. Let's strip it down. A 12-year-old said something mean. You responded with the most painful truth available in her life. That's not proportionate. That's retaliation. You keep hiding behind "I didn't lie." No one cares if you lied. You used information that wasn't yours to deploy in that moment. That's the issue. And you absolutely knew it would hurt. Don't pretend it just slipped out harmlessly. She picked drugs over you isn't a neutral statement. It's engineered to land. You say you're tired of being the one who shows up. That's understandable. But showing up doesn't buy you the right to emotionally detonate a child. You also framed yourself as the better option. You compared yourself to her addicted mother in the middle of an argument. That's not about honesty, that's about status. Kids in blended families test boundaries. They say, "You're not my real mum." It's textbook. It's not a legal statement. It's an emotional flare. You escalated it into a life-altering disclosure. You talk about how she froze. Of course she froze. You took something she was probably holding together in her own way and ripped it open. And now you're surprised she doesn't want you at her concert. You damaged trust, not just hers. Your husband's too. He now has to wonder what you'll say next time you feel disrespected. You weren't trying to protect her. You were trying to win. That's the part you don't want to admit. Continuation. It's been about 3 weeks since I said what I said to my stepdaughter. The house doesn't feel loud anymore. It feels careful. The first thing I did, which I can see now was probably not smart, was try to clarify. I didn't apologize. I need to be honest about that. I went into her room 2 nights later because the silence was making me uncomfortable, and I told myself I was fixing it. She was sitting on her bed scrolling. I knocked but didn't wait. I said I didn't mean it the way it came out. She didn't look at me. I kept talking anyway. I said addiction is complicated. I said her mum has struggled before. I said the reason she misses visits isn't because she doesn't care, but because she's sick. Then I said, but that doesn't change that she keeps choosing it. She finally said, very quietly, "Stop." I told her she deserved the truth. I told her I wasn't trying to hurt her. I told her I was tired of pretending. She started crying. That's when my husband walked in and said my name in that tone that means I've gone too far. He asked me to leave the room. Later that night, he told me I wasn't clarifying. I was doubling down. I said I was trying to help her process it. He said she didn't need me processing anything for her. But why not? I'm not a guest in this house. A few days after that, I texted her mum. I didn't think about it long. I was angry. It was after my stepdaughter refused to answer me when I asked about homework. My husband had taken over most conversations with her by then. I felt iced out, so I texted her mum, "If you'd show up consistently, I wouldn't have to explain your absence." I thought it was restrained, honestly. She responded within minutes. I wasn't expecting that. It was paragraphs. She said I had no right to speak to her child about her recovery. She said I humiliated her daughter. She said I used her lowest point as leverage. She accused me of trying to turn her daughter against her. Then she wrote, "You are not her mother. Stay in your lane." That phrase again. She screenshotted the text exchange and sent it to my husband before I could even decide whether to show him. He came at me holding his phone, asking me what is wrong with me. I said I was holding her accountable. He said I was escalating something that was already fragile. He asked why I felt the need to involve myself directly instead of talking to him. I said because nothing was changing, because I'm tired of absorbing the tension while she floats in and out, because I'm the one dealing with the fallout. He told me this wasn't about accountability. It was about me needing to feel justified. That is simply not true. The following weekend we had dinner with his parents. It wasn't dramatic. It was already scheduled. I considered canceling, but that would have made it obvious. At some point his mum asked how things were going because she'd heard about the mess at our home. I should have said, "We're handling it." Instead I said, "Well, when someone keeps abandoning their kid, there isn't much to handle." The table went quiet. My husband's jaw tightened immediately. His dad stared at his plate. His mum tried to smooth it over by saying addiction is complicated. I said I understand that, but at some point the kid deserves consistency. I could feel my husband pulling away from me in real time, like I'd just confirmed something he didn't want to believe about me. On the drive home, he barely spoke. When we got inside, he said I don't get to narrate his ex's failures to his parents either. I said I wasn't narrating, I was stating facts. He said I was keeping it alive. That's when I realized he and I aren't arguing about the same thing anymore. He's arguing about boundaries. I'm arguing about fairness. Those aren't compatible arguments. A few days later, there was another small incident. She asked if her mum was coming to her band concert. My husband said he didn't know yet. She said she hoped so. I don't know why I opened my mouth. It just came out again. you know why she probably won't. She looked at me and I could see something shut down behind her eyes. Not anger, something worse, resignation. My husband told me to stop, right there in the hallway, in front of her. He's never corrected me like that in front of her before. Since then, he's been doing most of the talking. He handles discipline. He checks homework. He takes her to school alone in the mornings. He didn't ask me to come to the concert. I didn't go. I told myself I was respecting her wishes. But I also didn't push. I stayed home. I didn't text asking how it went until they were already on the way back. When they walked in, she was holding her instrument case and laughing about something that happened on stage. She stopped when she saw me. I asked, did it go okay? She nodded, that was it. Later that night, my husband said she asked why I didn't try harder to come. I didn't know what to say to that. She was the one who told me not to come, so I respected her wishes. Now somehow, that's being used as proof that I don't care. I'm starting to feel like anything I do is wrong. And instead of softening, I think I'm getting more rigid, which I know isn't helping. Because yesterday something else happened, and I handled it the same way I've been handling everything lately, and now the distance between me and my husband feels permanent. It started with another missed visit, and instead of keeping quiet this time, I said, she needs to stop getting her hopes up. My husband had just got off the phone. I could tell by his face it wasn't happening. He told her gently that her mom couldn't make it this weekend, something about not feeling well. He didn't mention rehab. He didn't mention anything real. She nodded like she was fine. Went upstairs. That scared me. I said he needs to stop cushioning it. He said he's handling it. I said clearly it's not working because she keeps expecting something different. He asked what I wanted him to do. I said tell her the truth without pretending it's temporary every time. He said you've done enough. That landed hard. Later that night, I overheard her on FaceTime with a friend. I wasn't trying to listen in, I was only passing her door, but I caught her saying, she hates my mum. I don't hate her mum, I don't even know her like that, but I hate the way everything in this house bends around her absence. The next morning I emailed the school counselor. I wrote that her biological mother is struggling with substance use again and that there may be an emotional impact on my stepdaughter. I said I wanted them aware in case she seemed withdrawn. I didn't tell my husband before I did it. The counselor called him at work. He came home early again, same look as before. He asked why I involved the school. I said because someone needs to pay attention to how this affects her. He said that was his job. I said I live here too. He said, yes, that's the problem. You're just living here, not understanding. He said I keep acting first and explaining later. I told him if he actually addressed it directly instead of pretending everything is manageable, I wouldn't feel the need to step in. He said he doesn't want me managing and to let go of the controlling nature. We haven't been the same since that conversation. And I've stopped doing certain things. I don't check her homework. I don't remind her about practice. I don't rearrange my patience if she needs a ride. If he asks, I do it. I'm not sabotaging anything. I'm just not volunteering anymore. Last week she forgot her band binder at home. He called me from work asking if I could drop it off. I said I had back-to-back appointments, which was true. I could have shifted one. I didn't. He left work early to bring it. That night he said, you used to show up without keeping score. I said, apparently showing up doesn't mean anything. And this is how you want me to act, remember. He didn't respond. At this point, my stepdaughter barely speaks to me unless necessary. My husband limits what I'm allowed to say. The biomom thinks I'm trying to replace her. And I'm sitting here wondering if telling a 12-year-old something painful, even if it's real, makes me the worst person in this situation. I don't think this marriage is going to last any longer. Continuation. It's been 8 months since I wrote about all of this. We're separated. I didn't leave the night of some big screaming fight. There wasn't one. That's almost what makes it worse. It was a slow erosion, quiet, controlled, careful. After the school counselor thing and after the threats from his ex about custody, he shifted in a way I couldn't ignore. He started documenting things, not aggressively, but intentionally. Notes about conversations, saving texts, asking me to confirm what I said in writing. It felt procedural. I asked him once if he thought I was a liability. He didn't answer directly. He said, I have to protect my daughter. That was the first time I understood I wasn't inside the circle anymore. Therapy started for her. I wasn't invited to sessions. That part I expected. What I didn't expect was being asked not to attend the intake meeting either. He said it would be better if it was just him and her mum on speaker. I said, so I just live here. He said, right now, yes. That was the moment something in me stopped trying. I began looking at apartments 2 weeks later. The final push wasn't dramatic. It was small. Her birthday dinner. Her mum showed up. I was pushed aside. At one point I heard her tell my stepdaughter, I know I've messed up, but I'm trying. And my stepdaughter said, I know. There was softness there, something protective. I realized in that moment that I was still competing in my head, still measuring who showed up more, still waiting for acknowledgement. I didn't want to feel like that anymore. That night I told my husband I found an apartment. He didn't argue. He looked tired. He said maybe space would help. We didn't frame it as divorce immediately, but within a month it was clear this wasn't temporary. He said he couldn't trust me not to escalate again. I said I couldn't live in a house where my words were monitored. We filed 3 months ago. It's civil, no drama. We divided things evenly. The house stays with him. It made sense for her stability. I don't see her anymore. That was part of it. He said consistency mattered. I said I understood. We didn't drag it through court. I signed what needed signing. I thought I would feel angry. Mostly I feel tired. I still believe what I said was true. I also understand now that being right didn't make me the right person to say it. He and I speak occasionally about paperwork. It's polite. Last I heard, her mum is still in and out of treatment. He's managing it. I'm not involved. I don't know if leaving was strength or just the only move left. I just know I didn't want to keep fighting for a position that never fully fit.